Thanks to Donncha O'Leary and Sinn Féin for bringing this motion forward, and People Before Profit are happy to support this motion on the Leaving Cert. The very least we can insist in the particular situation of COVID is that the voices of the Leaving Cert students should be heard. Those voices have been clearly expressed by the school students and their representative organisation. They want a choice, they want a hybrid exam, they've been through enough and they need that clarity soon, that you are going to listen to their voice. So we're happy to support that. But as the Minister knows, we wish to go further. And we brought a motion to that effect to this Dáil last March. And I'm going to repeat the argument a year on, which I think is even more relevant a year on, which at the time the government opposed. And to that end, we are moving an amendment, short amendment, which is not deleting anything from the Sinn Féin motion, but is adding that we should have open access to higher and further education and apprenticeships, and we should scrap the Leaving Cert. Full stop, get rid of the Leaving Cert. Because it is a way of limiting access to higher and further education, and it is irrational and unfair to do that, and it forces people into a rat race for points, which is extremely detrimental to the well-being of our young people. It is completely pointless. It is damaging, it reinforces social inequality, and it is long past its sell date, and it should go. And we are very, very clear about this. School students who've led the way, by the way, in climate, and we should bear that in mind, say, we want system change. Not climate change, system change. Well, system change is what we need in education. And we need it now. Not sometime in the future, not little bits here and there, tinkering around with the existing failed and unfair system, the unfairness of which has been magnified in the context of COVID, but which is always an unfair system. Deputy Gannon has already referred to it. It was in our motion last March. It is shocking that the government can maintain that the Leaving Cert is fair. It's just ridiculous to say that, unless you're not looking at the context of the Leaving Cert. That 99% of people from Ranelagh, and nothing against the people of Ranelagh, go to university, but 15 or 16% from working class areas. That's fair? That is grossly unfair. And something has to be done about it. And if you don't start from recognising there's a problem there, quite frankly, you're defending the indefensible. And I'm delighted that the ASTI have now endorsed the view, and we should listen to them. I don't agree with everything the teachers' unions have said around this issue, but the ASTI are absolutely right in saying we need open access. That's about actually responding to the pandemic. You know, we've gone on and on and on. There's going to be a new normal. That's the expression. We're going to learn from COVID, but actually what we're trying to do is drag ourselves back to the stuff before COVID. Get back to the status quo, right? We don't need that. We don't need the status quo when it comes to the Leaving Cert. We need a revolution in education, and we need the imagination to remember that once upon a time people thought it was fair and reasonable to limit access to second-level education. We think that was preposterous now. We think it'd be utterly preposterous, but once upon a time, that's the way it was looked at. And once upon a time, huge numbers of people didn't imagine they would ever go past primary education. Right? And now we think that's preposterous. Why on earth would we ration and have a gatekeeping exercise for access to further and higher education? And I heard, I mean, the Taoiseach, when we brought this motion last year, the Taoiseach said, oh, you know, that's totally impractical. Nice idea, but it's totally impractical. Where would we get the buildings? Walk down Ainger Street and you'll see a third-level institution that is sitting there empty for the last 2 or 3 years, just sitting empty. It's Outrageous, right? Go along the Marion Gates and look at the Seamark building, which you could fit a college in, which has been sitting there for 10 years empty. And there's multiple buildings like that around the country, right? We have no problem, if we're serious about this, in the physical infrastructure. Or, you know, well, everybody's going to want to be a doctor. That's the other one I love, the sort of nonsense that's wheeled out. Everybody's going to be a doctor. I tell you, you know, what we're defending now is a situation where in order to do the thing that you'd like to do, you have to be subjected to a regime of studying loads of things you don't want to do in order to get to the thing you do want to do. Or is it even the thing you want to do because it's just a hierarchy of points to get into particular courses? Now, surely actually a bit more logical to let people do in third level the thing they really wanted to do. Now, wouldn't that be imaginative? The thing they actually were enthusiastic to do. Imagine the sort of creative potential you could unleash if people were given the opportunity to do the things they were really keen to do. I think that might actually produce better graduates myself. I think that might contribute better to our society to unleash the creative potential of so many people whom the system at the moment deters or denies access to education and to the things they want to do. It is entirely practical. The gap between the number of higher education places and the number of applicants is about 25,000. That is a gap that can be filled. We have lots of part-time academic staff who love a full-time job but are on crappy part-time contracts or paid by the hour. So we have the people who could do the teaching, we have buildings, believe me, that we could put the students in. We just need the imagination of the government to take this leap, and now is the time to take it.